Welcome to Detroit in Black and White, Wednesday edition. I'm Adolph Mongo. Good evening, Allan Lengel, co-founder of Deadline Detroit.
Good evening. Good evening.
Jim Nardone, former police chief and law enforcement expert, as I say. Jim,
Good
how you doing? Good evening. You know what? Before we start the show with our guests, what do you think of Rob Reiner and his wife being murdered by their son? And no matter how much money, how famous you are, when you got somebody in your family that's addicted to drugs, etc., got mental health issues, you see what happens every day. This happens every day in America. Only this time it's somebody well known, and people are like shocked. When I first heard it, I thought it was a murder suicide.
Right.
Then they say it's a homicide. I say one of the kids did it. I guess that's being a old newspaper reporter. Allan.
No, I mean, at first they said, I always saw in the news that somebody at their home, there was a couple found, and then suddenly it was the ages were the right ages. And I mean, you think murder-suicide, but, you just don't think of, I don't think of anyone really doing that. But I thought that's so crazy that they would do that. And then you see the son, which is obviously, look, the son had serious mental health issues, homeless, had drug issues. You have a kid like that, and it's a lifetime of really distress and challenge to try to get the person in a place where they're functioning in society. And here it is. I mean, the ultimate. I mean, the last time we really think of, particularly in California, is the Menendez brothers when they killed their parents. But I mean, to raise a child and to have that child, particularly, you've got to believe that Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, they did everything to try to accommodate this kid and try to, help him.
Well, like they missed something. Jim, you in law enforcement, you run across, I don't want to say this kind of scene, but people that's on drugs commit crimes against their families.
First, hello to True Sensation, Dominique Richmond, Karen Winston, Mr. 1213, Mr. Duckett, Janet Overall. Thank you, Janet. I think I got everybody. Hello to everybody that's tuning in. We appreciate everybody tonight. Happy holidays. I don't have an answer. It's tragic. It's a tremendous loss for the world. Every death is a loss for the world, if we look at it that way. But this guy was, he just was an asset to whether you liked his politics, whether you disagree with his politics, whatever the case is. There's no answer why that kid did it. I don't know how to answer that question, Adolph.
Well, I grew up down the street from a family who one of the sons was, when I was young, he was very productive in the community. Worked at one of the plants. A real nice guy. He always drove a nice car, etc. And then one day, you see him, he done lost his damn mind. He was hooked on heroin, and man, he dealt with that. I was grown, and he was still a heroin addict. He broke into people's houses. He did all kind of stuff. They put him in a mental institution 2 or 3 times. The last time he came home, he had some woman he met there in the mental institution. So it was 2 of them. But it's like, how do you got a family that was dealing with that for over 20-something years? On and off and on and off. And this is America. And then when you had the president of the United States make it a political thing, Instead of him saying, not saying nothing at all. That old saying is, if you don't have anything nice to say about the dead, don't say anything.
Yeah.
I have
something to say about that. I mean, look, as Rob Reiner said when Charlie Kirk was killed, he said, I might not agree with his politics, but it's, this is insane. This is wrong. Trump, unfortunately, is incapable. And like you say, you don't like the person, okay, then don't say anything. I mean, it'd be nice to say, look, we had our differences, however, condolences. I mean, what could be more horrible than your child, murdering you? And the tragedy of it all. And for him to not only state these ignorant things, but then to promote how great a president he is in that same message is really, there's no secret. I'm not a fan of the guy, but I think even some people who may have been fans, I think it might have turned their stomach.
Yeah, well, James Wood, the right-wing actor, he's a supporter of Trump.
Right.
He said he was good friends with Rob Reiner. He said he was basically blacklisted from Hollywood, couldn't get a movie deal. Rob Reiner put him in a movie, got him jump started. He said they didn't agree politically, but they were friends otherwise.
Right.
And I listen. I got friends that's on the other side politically. There's a couple things you don't talk about. There's politics, and then somebody that's a real religious nut. I don't talk about religion because people that you can worship a dog. I don't care. But when it's in your family, it is a different situation where you got somebody that's doing things, taking stuff from you. Sometimes the parents enable the person, then they get real tough and kick them out. Even with all the money they had, they couldn't make it work.
Yeah,
tragic.
It's a lot of families in America are dealing with somebody in their family that has a mental health issue, and it's a lifetime project of getting them into treatment.
Well, you can see it. You see it in Cork. Yeah, you see it in Corktown. They're walking around in Corktown because they have a church there where a lot of the homeless people go there and shower and get food over the weekend, etc. Right. But they go into some of these coffee shops and some of the restaurants around there, and the people that work there and the owners know them. But then it get to the point where some of them come in there and go berserk, throw stuff, curse out the workers, and do all other things. And then the police, we already shorthanded in the neighborhoods. Then you call the police, and then the police, in Detroit, they don't show up in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, even though right down the street in Corktown is the police headquarters. So,
hello, Tamari Kemet. How are you tonight? Good to see you. Ira Todd, our DPD legend. Thank you. Good evening to you, and hope you're doing well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adolph. Just wanted to.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there because it's been 3, 4, 5 days. 3 days or 4 days, and already ABC News has a documentary out on the Rob Reiner story.
Like I said earlier, the world lost.
Somebody has mentioned sometimes people are homeless because family members don't want to take them in. What we also see is sometimes, particularly like people who have drug addictions, crack or whatever, they start stealing from their parents and they get kicked out of the house. There becomes trust issues or they harm somebody in the family and they get kicked out of the house. So it's not really simple as families not wanting them.
Last year, somebody I knew and I hadn't seen him in a long time, but I didn't know the person that did it.
Mm-hmm.
Had mental issues. And her grandson, her daughter went to pick him up somewhere, and he's been in and out of institutions. And she picked him up out in Royal Oak, and on their way back to her house, he shot her, and the car killed her.
Yep.
Yeah, but like I say, it happens, and it happens everywhere. And I can name
talks about money. Sometimes money creates more problems, but I hate to see it. It's money created the problem. I don't agree with that. All kinds of families have. Everybody that's commenting today, everybody that's watching today, all of us have had issues in our lives. No people are perfect, and the world lost a tremendous talent, and we should mourn that talent. And Don, whatever his name is,
Allan, how many classmates we lost to drugs, man?
Well, I don't know number wise, but you and I know some of those.
Yeah, it's been more than it should.
Overdoses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look,
I think
people are crying out for help. In a lot of ways. I mean, people don't want to always deal with the demons, and the demons. It's sometimes easier to suppress and numb through drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. But
well, kids, especially middle class kids, got doing all kind of drugs, and I didn't know any of these drugs until I got around some of these kids. They was doing all kind of stuff. It's like, damn.
And Stephanie and Jill are checking in. Hello, Stephanie. Good evening. Jill Sheridan, man's inhumanity to man never ceases to astound me. And I think that's it in a nutshell. It doesn't make a bit of sense. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're the most talented guy on the planet or the least talented guy. There's no explanation for this killing. It's tragic.
A lot of the people are always looking for explanations. Like, look, Sharon Moore. People say that guy had everything, and he totally lost his shit. Was it? People. I for whatever reason, I don't know if there was a mental health thing or just that he just got.
Well, he must have had some kind of problem because I just read where the head coach of the Ohio team, the MAC, not Ohio State, Ohio University, they fired their football coach, head coach, because they haven't released the reasons, but it was something they think is something crazy that he violated some school rule. People get caught up in the shit, and they can't get out of it. Some shit you pick up, you can't put down. So Sharon Moore, the first thing he should have realized, you don't mess with the help.
Right.
When I first started working for Coleman Young, first thing one of his aides pulled me to the side, say, "You in your 20s. See all these women that working for the administration, they off limits. Not because it's illegal or you're going to get punished." He says too much crazy stuff happens when you have these romances and somebody get upset. They go to somebody's department, act a fool, or they do all kind of other stuff.
Sometimes more is less. Karen Winston, DeBrag 921, good to see you. Just because you're related to someone does not mean you have to let them disrupt your life or home. It's hard. I'm not a parent, so it's hard when you're a parent. The father and son duo of the murders, Jill Sheridan points out. And G Money, good to see you, G Money. Hollywood 4116, we're glad to see you tonight. Thanks for coming on. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to again.
Well, no, I said, but
we have our guest. We should break to a commercial and bring our guests on.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
Okay. Well, welcome back to Detroit in Black and White with Jim Nardone and Allan Lengel. Joining us, and we had him on before, State Representative Donavan McKinney.
How's everybody? I'm blessed, man. Just coming straight from Lansing, day of meetings, session.
Yeah, y'all getting your ass kicked. The Democrats up there, man. They took $600 million from you, bro. What's the deal with that?
I know, man. I know they found a loophole in the law from back in 1984. It's called the State Budget and Management Act, and it essentially says that any chamber appropriations committee, the House or the Senate, can disapprove work projects. So the definition of work projects is already appropriated dollars that takes more than a year to complete. So, that it's, you might get dollars to like a county or a municipality that need money for lead service lines, perfect example. That might take 3, 5, 7 years down the road to actually come to fruition and spend all that money down for that particular project. So they kind of carved that out. They carved a bunch of stuff out for, the RX Kids program dealing with prenatal and infant child help, helping new moms with those babies be able to afford diapers and having transportation to those precious doctor appointments. Like you name it, mental health, monies. I know I got one in my district, the 7 Mile House, that got put on pause because, and they're literally shovels already in the ground, buildings are literally being built, and they have to stop, right? For continuing on building those type of projects. And it hurts, but, we're working on a supplemental budget. There are brighter days ahead. But the way they did it was
the speaker said, listen, the money just sitting there. He said, no, they don't know how to spend it. They don't know how to, they don't have a game plan. And we got to stop all this waste. And that's why they took the money.
No, like, my Republican colleagues always talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. And to be honest, I don't see these type of programs being waste, fraud, and abuse. These are critical programs. They are saving lives, from after school programs to, various programs that are dealing with our education system to, food programs, right? Food pantries got pulled back. And like, they're literally piecemealing it. So what happens is they get a contract with the state and you get reimbursed. So a lot of these grant dollars are reimbursements. And so what's happening is they're clawing it back and they're creating all this chaos and confusion. And the business community is pissed off. The nonprofits are mad because these are promised dollars, already appropriated dollars for programs, for, facilities that are going to help our districts and our people. And it's just sad because, broken promises. And like literally, they are literally having to cease projects right now. Organizations have to shut their doors right now during the holiday season. Literally, they're getting in the cold for Christmas. Like, what are we doing? What does this signal to the people of Michigan when we fight for them? Put these type of critical programs in our budget, and then they get clawed away. Like, this is something that has never been done in the history of our state. But more importantly, it's been done in a totally undemocratic way. There wasn't any type of discussion, any questions, any type of debate when it came to this vote. Literally, they gave us a 6-page document in less than 2 minutes. They called a roll call vote over $650 million. And my Republican colleagues always talk about Democrats not being transparent. This was the most untransparent thing I've seen in my entire lifetime. And I talked to my, it's terrible.
Are you surprised? Listen, Snyder used to play that game at the end of the year or the end of the terms, et cetera. They throw a monkey wrench in the process and pass stuff. It's like the right to work failed statewide, but the Republicans made sure that it became law because they passed it. Democrats.
This is different. This is different because they only got the House Republicans on the Appropriations Committee to do it without taking a full floor vote with the entire House or getting it through the Senate and the governor's signature. They literally did this with less than 90 seconds to read the document, and they did the vote in less than 3 minutes, and that was it. 16 Republicans decided to take away $650 million, and they just they pulled the monkey wrench over everybody's eyes. We're working on it. We got to get a supplemental, but the Senate just passed this full supplemental budget to replace everything that was taken away. The Democratic end, I think it was 4 or 5 Republicans in the Senate that helped alongside of it to get that over the hump. But we need the House. And right now they're just playing games. And what my Republican colleagues called me and what they told me, well, this is a leveraging point for negotiations. I said, you want us to negotiate things that has already been appropriated 2 years ago. They are literally in the midst of expanding programs and doing this. And this literally incentivizes organizations and future processes to spend down that money immediately, which in reality does not cause any type of stability for our programs and the people that need this type of money. And I know counties and cities all across our state are fed up with this because we continuously pull the wool over our eyes and they're acting like this is DC. In reality, this is Lansing, Michigan. We're supposed to make our promises and keep them.
Donovan, you mentioned that Republicans are always saying that the Democrats are wasting money. To me, the message is they see it as a waste of money if they're helping the underprivileged.
Yeah, I agree, man. And it's hurtful because in my man, they took away the last little money left for the Wigs for Kids program, the smallest budget item that they clawed back, $65,000 for kids with cancer who just need to feel better for themselves while they're still here on this planet. What are we doing?
There's another bill, money that was funded for, there's a high rate of suicides among farmers in our state. And they took away the mental health to address that issue with farmers, which is, I think it's 5 to 1 or something. The ratio is much higher. So it's just things that don't, the common person needs help with, and they're just turning their back.
How do we get it back?
How do we get it back? It's through a supplemental. So we're working on that right now. Like I said before, the Senate just passed a full supplemental budget to replace all the funds yesterday night. And so we have to take it up in the House. But tomorrow is our last day of session before, we go on holiday break until January. And so I don't know if they're going to do it. We're putting pressure. We're asking everybody. I'm talking about, I've even gotten calls from some of the Republican mayors on this. And they're like, they can't even believe this shit is happening because this is just too much, too fast, too soon without no type of, they didn't have any type of notice, man. And they had to literally convince these Republicans after 8 hours going at ease. They literally gaveled out a committee for 8 hours, strong-arming these Republicans. And even they don't even know what the hell they voted for. And now they having buyer's remorse. And I'm like, it's too damn late. It's too damn late. So in order to get it back, we got to get this supplemental done. We're asking everybody on your show, call on every single House Republican, including Speaker Matt Hall, and then also the Appropriations Chair in the House, Ann Bolin, and call them immediately and tell them to restore this funding because these are critical programs that are saving people's lives.
So, Representative McKinney, I appreciate the battles that are going on in the Michigan House of Representatives, but I think you have your eyes set on another position. How is that campaign going? Are you meeting with the people? Are you responding? A couple of our viewers, have you been able to talk to some of our viewers that?
I haven't talked to that person who said I wasn't picking up the phone before. So if you could give me that person's number, I'm happy to give them a call. But I have been showing up. We have been going to various events. People have been hosting us meet and greets. We've been traveling across the district, going to holiday events, going to every single event we possibly can. Just meeting folks, introducing ourselves to the district, because the district is so big than what I represent currently in the state house. And so people got to get to know who we are. But
it's
every
a great
time,
opportunity, make the best of it, I guess, is what you're. Are you going to make the best of it? Are you in the war? I know you're fighting battles up there in Lansing, but are you in the war for that seat?
Yes. Oh yeah, we're in the war for the 13th congressional. Like I'm fighting for you guys in Lansing, I'm going to continue to fight for you in the 13th in DC once we win this seat. And the people duly elect us. But I'm excited because at the end of the day, this is about bringing energy to the system. Right now, we got milquetoast people who are literally having these type of positions and don't do crap with it. And we're fighting like hell to make sure we get a different breed, a younger generation in office that's going to bring that energy and do the real work of this district.
And how's your family? How are your family, I guess?
Good. I mean, they're listen, my wife is amazing. I want to shout her out because, you know, we have 3 amazing children under the age of 4. And so my oldest son, I said it on the last show, my oldest son will be 4 next month. My middle child, he'll turn 2 on Valentine's Day. And then we got our baby girl who just turned 3 months old. And like for my wife to allow me to hold this position and run for a bigger position and holding it down at home, I really do appreciate her. But it's tough on the kids because the Tyler kids, they miss me. But, you know, I'm taking along. They're coming with me to some of these type of events. We're having fun. We want to let people know we don't have to live like this. We deserve better, and we deserve real representation.
And you know I bring that up, right? Because they're relating to the people that you hope to represent. I'm not sure that the Democratic congressman holding that seat currently knows how to relate to the community.
That's true. That's true.
So that's why I think it's important that you talk about your life and where you came from, where you're going. I think people need to understand that. They need to know your story if you're going to win this primary. Yeah,
you're right, Jim. And we're set.
I don't want to hear that you went up to U of M with $20 in your pocket.
No. I had a by the grace of God, I got a full academic scholarship to U of M. So, you know, I was broke. Don't get me wrong, but U of M paid me, you know, enough to base level survive while I was on campus.
So our viewers out there are paying attention. Representative McKinney, Karen Winston, Miss Sheila, 2129, talking a little bit about the coach out there at U of M, the football coach. Dominique. We see you, Dominique. We know you're out there. It's good to see you. G Money Hollywood.
What happened to your coach, State Rep?
What'd you say?
What happened to Sharon Moore?
Man, it's so sad. Like, as a black man in this country, I just look at that. I saw him, Mel Tucker, go through the same thing. I'm like, come on, my black man. When is enough?
But the bottom line is African Americans don't get enough opportunities.
No.
But I'm not. Sharon Moore is. I'm not going to lose sleep because he lost his job. He's not even 40 years old and almost threw away a career. But I look at some of the other coaches that have been able to come back. Rick Pitino, I guess, because he's a Hall of Famer. He was having sex with a woman in a restaurant every day, and he had girls on campus having sex with recruits. And I say he's back in the big time. It's about 4 or 5. Do you think that Moore career is he's one and done, or he's going to be rehabilitated somewhere down the line?
I don't know, man. I pray for him. I know he, was going through some mental health challenges. That's what he claims. but it's sad how everything went down. Like from what from insiders have told me, he was set up. So I don't know. I don't know the details of it all. I just hear what's actually out in the media, and it's sad that he had to go down. But when you step outside your marriage like that, God don't like ugly. He gonna make sure you checked and held accountable for it. We're all held accountable for our actions, but he shouldn't have done that. He knows better. He knows better.
I have a friend who writes a sports blog sometimes. He predicts that when things settle down, it might be a year or two. I mean, financially, I think he's fine. He made a shitload of money already. One of the Harbaugh brothers may bring him on as an assistant coach. I don't think he'll ever be a head coach again anywhere, except maybe a high school. But I think the Harbaugh brothers may.
I don't even think a high school will hire him because
Yeah.
Well, they're doing it all. It's not just Bobby Petrino got caught with that. He crashed his motorcycle in 2012. The head football coach down in Arkansas. You guys remember that? And
and he bought a student a car.
He had a girlfriend. She fell off his motorcycle.
Yeah.
She was 25 and he was 55. So this isn't limited to. This happens all the time. So
yeah.
Donovan, I got a quick question. This is a little pet peeve of mine. It's so low on the totem pole, but I think it's a great consumer issue. And I've mentioned it before to the state reps. There a lot of laws. California, a lot of states have laws that require companies to notify you before they renew any subscription, subscription, whatever. And as far as I know, the state of Michigan does not have that. So you realize, holy shit! I mean, I just realized again, I signed up for something and I meant to cancel it, and for like 6 months, I was paying $30 a month. Not that it's huge, but there are state laws around the country that require that, and I don't know. It would be like all you had to do is take a copy of the California law and pass it. Who would
pass it here? So both my colleagues, State Reps Jason Morgan out of Ann Arbor, and then State Rep Oliver Sparhat out of Dearborn, has some legislation touching on this particular problem and subject.
Okay.
And I think it's called Click to Cancel, something like that. But they are, I think they're getting committee hearings on it as we speak. I co-sponsored both bills. We're trying to get that through right now as we speak.
Okay.
We just need Republicans to get on it as well.
I wish you would, because when you try to cancel, they send you through hell to cancel it.
I'm just trying to cancel out of a subscription for one of my for my kid. Like it was like a reading subscription or something like that. But then I didn't see the actual fine print. The charges went like 10 times. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. Let me cancel. And then I had to call and beg and send emails. And I'm like, dude, I don't got time for this crap. And you just sit there getting your account deducted every damn month. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's changed the account number. But anyway, before we go, tell us how, if somebody want to work on your campaign, how they get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. So people can reach out to Donavan at donovanforcongress.com. That's our email address. You can reach out to our campaign phone number, which I believe is, one second, because it is 313-444-0746. Again, 313-444-0746. Or you can do Donavan at donovanforcongress.com, or just visit donovanforcongress.com and sign up to volunteer. We'll love to have whoever wants to volunteer and support our campaign.
So how do they donate money to you?
Yeah.
How do they donate money to you?
Oh yeah. Donate right there. Like it's literally donovanforcongress.com. It's that first button. You'll see it. It'll notify you as soon as you get on there. Chip in today. Click on that thing, and it leads you to an ActBlue link. Donate right there, right then and there.
Get out there, man. Get out there. I know you're busy up there in Lansing. You got to talk to the people.
Yeah.
Don't let this election go by with people saying, I didn't know he was running. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. No, we're going to make sure of that.
You're gonna have to have you back, my brother.
Definitely. I'm excited.
All right.
Okay,
Good luck,
thank
Jim.
you.
Thank you guys. God bless.
Happy holidays.
Get that money back, man.
Let's go. Hey, we're working on it right now.
Okay.
Okay, God bless.
Take care.
Good to see you. So G Money Hollywood, guys, is talking about the champ, the 5-time champion of the world, Thomas Hearns, and Allan's buddy, Charlie LaDuff.
I couldn't watch it.
Kind of made a big deal out of it, and then he interviewed him, and it looks like, and I can only say this, I was at a small dinner party within the last 3 years. There were probably no more than 20 people there, and the champ was there, all right? He doesn't say a lot. He's not a guy that has a lot of words.
He's never said a lot.
Exactly.
He's
And
never
I don't,
said
I mean, I don't know. I think they're exaggerating. He's a smart man. The people there, I didn't say hello to him. He was sitting across the room from me, but he was very engaged. And hopefully he gets his home back, as G Money Hollywood says. But I think people tend to make a bigger deal out of things than, you know, it is unfortunate what happened with his house, but I don't think he's
I know some attorneys who lost their house when a scam, mortgage scam, and one guy that I know, it took him 4 years to get his house back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had something happen to the house, and it was being fixed, and during that time, somebody came and sold a house from under.
Right.
No.
All I know is it cost me $25 to see him fight Sugar Ray Leonard, and it must have been half of my paycheck in 1981. I think it was 1981. And I remember it was a September day. I remember walking out of the Allen Park Theater and just going, I can't believe he lost that fight.
Wow.
In the 14th round. So hopefully he got that $25.
I was writing for the Chronicle. Way before the Chronicle. Somebody called me and wanted me to do a freelance article on this boxer. I didn't care about boxing, and I was like, nobody wants to. No, they said this guy real good. So I went down there. It was him. He was high school. He was just a tall, skinny guy, and you say he gonna get killed in the ring, you know, because he didn't have any meat on him. But could he swing? He could pack a punch.
So you wrote about Thomas Hearns and you gave the Magic Johnson story to Allan Lengel.
Well, yeah. That reminds me of the Magic Johnson story. I was a senior at Michigan State. Adolph had graduated, ready to get from U of M, and he started a magazine on high school sports called Champions. And he called me up and said, "Hey, I want you to do a story on this guy. He's a senior at Lansing Everett." He goes, they call him Magic, and they say this guy's going to be huge. And I never heard of him. You know, who follows? You know, you're in college, you're not really following high school basketball. And so I called up Magic. I met him at a gas station. He pulled up. I mean, he was already being taken care of. He pulls up in a Buick Deuce and a Quarter, a big brown car. We go over to one of his mentors' houses, and I interviewed him there. Nicest guy. And we ran the story, and it was a great story. And that, you know, as time went on, you know, a year goes by, and I'm like, holy shit. You know, he was at Michigan State. I had just graduated. I graduated, and he came that fall. And then, you know, suddenly he's drafted by the Lakers, and I'm like, holy shit. And then suddenly, I mean, he's a phenomenon. And I was like, Adolph and I would talk about it for years, you know, about that.
But he was no Antoine Joubert when it came to
But I didn't know him either until Greg Miles, one of our schoolmates, and the brother of Frank Miles, the late Frank Miles, who we had on the show,
right?
Said, man, we got to go up to Lansing, see this coach and this guy. I said, for what? He said, this guy he's gonna turn the NBA out.
Wow.
He said, this guy's like Magic. That's what they calling him, Magic. He's a Magic on the court. We go up there, we meet his coach. and his coach get Irvin Johnson out of class. We sit there, shoot the shit with him and stuff. Real nice guy.
Yeah,
I,
very nice.
I said, can you write about this guy? Allan said, yeah.
Back to the fight. I'm sorry, I'm reliving you guys' glory days, but back to the fight for just a second. G Money Hollywood had a comment. It was a great fight, and Sugar Ray had everything to lose, nothing to lose, and everything to win. And when he came out in that 13.
Well, I took my last $15 and went to Chrysler Arena to see George Foreman. Everybody said George Foreman was going to knock out Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle, and Ali surprised everybody. You know, I think you got high just walking in Chrysler Arena because everybody was smoking marijuana and shit. You know.
And Eric, our good friend and colleague, talks going back to Sharon Moore, and he's an HR guy, human resources guy. Talks about the investigations with a subordinate, and you know what? Usually you sign a clause, and yeah, that's why he really doesn't have any defense. When somebody works for you, and you know you make $5.25 million, and they make, what was it, 50, or she got a raise to 90,000 or whatever.
Well, I'm sure that Deborah Gordon probably call. Deborah Gordon probably get a call because she's going to sue U of M, probably sue Sharon Moore. You know, it's going to be, and U of M going to pay her. If I was her, I wouldn't go back to that job. Even though they said, "Oh, we're not firing her," I would said, "Oh, I can't go back because you got people threatening me, and you know, I think it'd be a hostile environment." You know, yeah.
People have lost. Look at Matt Lauer at today's show. I mean, people have lost really their life, certainly their careers by doing stuff at work. You know.
Thank everybody for your comments. Miss Sheila, G Money, Mr. 1213, Eric, couple, Dominique, Terry McCrimmon's there today. Hey, Terry, we didn't see you. So there's no code of conduct for this young lady. There should be, Terry. Thank you for your comment.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break and come back.
Nearly 30,000 vacant lots all over the city of Detroit are for sale right now. That's right, nearly 30,000 vacant lots are available now, starting at just $100. The lot next to your house or the lot down the street. Make it yours today in just a few simple clicks. Find out if it is available by visiting buildingdetroit.org. At the Detroit Land Bank Authority, side lots are just $100 and neighborhood lots sell for $250. You can apply and pay online today by visiting buildingdetroit.org. And if you don't see the lot you're looking for, call our offices. Our phone number is 313-974-6869. Again, that is 313-974-6869.
All
so
right.
I guess I'll ask you guys a question. Does anybody think Sharon Moore will get a chance in the next? As Tamari Kemet says, they don't give black men second chances like the paternals. I think it's going to be a long time before someone.
Well, I think the way he get back in this, I think one of the historical black colleges football program hire him. It would be it'd be a no lose situation. Even though one of the coaches that used to be the head, Hugh, I forgot what his last name. He was the coach of the Cleveland Browns, and he got a job at one of the colleges. And he tried to bring on one of the former white head coaches who was fired for misconduct. I can't think of his name. And the university exploded, said, "No, you can't do that." You know, so I don't know. You know. Those are conservative schools, real conservative. So he might not even get a chance to do that. and you say high school, you'll have some parents saying, "Oh hell no," you know.
It's a long way for him to get back. It's going to take a few years.
Young guy.
And Dorian talks about his aunt dated both Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray. And she was collecting automobiles back then. Hopefully your aunt still has those automobiles if she's still around, Dorian. Thanks for your comment. Interesting.
Selling on eBay. Well, our next guest is backstage here, which probably
okay. You bring Vanessa on, and I'm out. I'll see y'all on Saturday.
All right, sounds good. All right, we are here. Thanks. We've got Dr. Brenda Goss Andrews, who has quite a resume, including president of Noble, which is the Black law enforcement executive, which I used to go to their party when I was covering federal law enforcement. They used to have great parties, and they do good things. And she was also the deputy chief for the fiscal operations for the Detroit Police Department. Is also a realtor, and I know there's a lot more there. And welcome to the show. Welcome.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, did you want to talk about, was I told you wanted to talk about gun safety during the holidays, or is that something, or what would you like? Is there any particular thing you'd like to talk about tonight?
Well, there's a million things I like to talk about, but yeah, I'm going to confine it to this. Thank you, Vanessa, for inviting me. We have finally gotten together, and I really appreciate it. So what I'm a strong advocate of is securing guns in the home. And I came to that, I was doing some research while I was in school and came across an article that talked about a lot of unintentional shootings of young children under 10 years old. And it was happening more in marginalized communities, happening in urban areas. And I said, well, I don't really hear that much, about that. The media was not really talking about it. The community is not talking about it. So I became interested in that. And as you mentioned, being the president of Noble, I was able to choose something that was going to be my pillar, and secure firearms in homes was one of my pillars. It was called It Starts at Home. And I partnered with Every Town Get Smart, Be Smart, with that. So tomorrow we're doing a press conference because we know during the holidays that people are drinking, they're not paying attention, kids are over, a lot of things are going on, right, and they're not being as attentive to the weapons that they have in their home. And I'm going to throw out a couple of numbers. I really don't like statistics that much because every one of these numbers represents a child or a young person that is dead or injured and families are grieving. Just to give you some perspective, every year about 360 children under 17 get a gun in the homes and either shoots themselves or shoots an other. And a prime example of that, I know you all heard this, the 6-year-old in Virginia that brought a gun from home. And I substitute teach now. So, that really hit home for me.
Where are you teaching? Where
Detroit schools.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A 6-year-old, imagine this, gets a gun from home, brings it to school, shoots the teacher. And I just think about that sometimes when I'm in the classroom, how tragic that could have been. So that's why, I continue to talk about this, securing guns. And I know there's so many arguments out there about, why I need a gun. We're not talking about taking your gun, but if you're going to have a gun, be a responsible adult. And just saying, oh, my kids know better, they don't touch guns. That's not it. Children are children, they're not adults. So that's what our press conference is about tomorrow. Kind of getting ahead here today.
Are there some ways to, I know there are gun locks, there's boxes and stuff like that. Is there some way to get those out to people who need it? Besides, it sounds like a multi thing of one, educating gun owners, but also giving them possibly some tools, whether it's a lockbox or a lock on the gun. Is there any ways for people to get access to that cheaply, or
Well, there is, and we will be giving out free gun locks tomorrow. A lot of our police precincts, especially in Detroit and probably the suburbs also,
Uh-huh.
give out free gun locks.
Great.
Sometimes fire departments. So, what I want to work on is being able to have enough gun locks. I'm calling on our business community, our philanthropic community to work with police departments and provide gun locks or donate gun locks. And that's one thing we want to do is make sure that they have the tools. Now, like you said, there's many things, there's gun boxes, but a lot of those, let's face it, are expensive and people aren't able to afford it. But a gun lock, cable lock can be very effective. But you have to unload your gun. You still have to put it away. You still have to make sure that the key is not accessible. And that's one thing we're going to talk about tomorrow. And I want to come back, if I have a moment, to talk about the state law. Right now, the Michigan state law is mandating Detroit schools in Michigan to distribute literature. This is how serious this has become. Michigan is probably one of the states, at the forefront of this, mandating that schools send out information to parents and caregivers about securing weapons. And that's passed and that's ongoing. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Vanessa, hold on. I think you're on mute.
Am I?
Yeah, now
We
you.
can hear you.
Hey, you hear me? Dr.
Yeah.
Andrews, thank you so much for coming on today. We know we had you scheduled to come on earlier. Hopefully you'll come back after the first of the year. I want to ask you about this program this tomorrow. Do you expect to have a big turnout? Because we find, especially in areas like Detroit, a lot of people are not educated and they're not motivated to learn about gun safety and that kind of thing. So, how are you going to get people to come to the program tomorrow? And what is the educational component like in the program for tomorrow?
Well, the educational component, it's more about awareness. And we've invited the media. That's because it's a press conference. We really want the media to gravitate towards this issue and put that information out to our public. Now, people might come. We are giving away free gun locks, but it's a slow climb, Vanessa. It's constant messaging. I think everybody that has a bullhorn, and I'm going to say this, I think the churches, and I'm going to say it on here, the churches, you have that pulpit on Sunday. I need you to talk about this. I need you to say, secure your guns, lock them up. And if every church in this city or in this state, in this country, just really talks about it, and that's how we build on it. We have to keep messaging it. And the gun locks, yes, you can get them from precincts. And like I said, we are working on being able to have more of those accessible. So tomorrow, Sheriff Washington is coming. We have the DPD representative. We have an MSP representative. Prosecutor Karen McDonald from Oakland County. She's coming to speak on it. We have some other nonprofits. We have the Michigan PTA that are coming to talk about it. So there's a lot of people out here that are invested in that. And I'm working with End Gun Violence Michigan with this program.
Well, you know what? I think it's interesting that you said the churches should really get involved. I think that's a great idea because that's where you're holding these funerals. These young people, these people die due to gun violence. And it's not just young people, period. And so they go to these very churches, these ministers, and they're eulogizing these people. So I think that is a great start. Have you guys done anything with the churches in encouraging the churches to promote gun safety? We have a lot of mega churches in the city of Detroit now.
We do. And also, Vanessa, there's a lot of groups out here, that are in this space, the interrupters and the interventionists. There's a lot of groups out here, and I'm sure they have touched upon it. So I don't think I'm coming up with anything new, but on your show, I wanted to have a call to action for anybody that's listening and passing it on, that the churches are dynamic. We have a lot of churches. We have some phenomenal leaders out there in the churches, and people, will listen to these credible messengers. I did talk to the Council of Baptist Ministers, I believe that is Reverend White, some months ago, and I went to one of their meetings and said the very same thing that I'm saying now, but it's that constant messaging. If everybody goes back and say, I heard on this podcast someone say that we should talk about this, in our church. And that's how you have to build on it.
Right.
Dr. Andrews, will you talk a little bit more about your event so everybody knows where it is and what time it is, and encourage these folks to come out and hear what y'all
is tomorrow at 10 a.m. at East Side Community Network, known as ECN, 4401 Connor on the east side. And we will start hopefully promptly at 10 a.m., run for about 45 minutes. Everyone will have an opportunity to speak. The media will have an opportunity to ask questions. Moms Demand Action will be there, set up with literature and free gun locks tomorrow. We will have free gun locks for anybody that attends.
And Dr. Andrews, will you just tell our viewers about your experience at the Detroit Police Department, how much time, maybe what positions you held, so people understand where you're coming from, if you don't mind?
Oh, sure. I spent 30 years on the Detroit Police Department. I was in that cohort when Coleman Young came in and wanted to diversify the police department. Also, when we had probably 1.2 million people in the city of Detroit. But I did start off as a street cop, and that was when heroin and a lot of the drug culture was going on. So I was out there, in that mix, as well. Then I was promoted to sergeant. I worked at several precincts throughout the city. I was a commander in charge of hiring and recruiting. That's another interesting subject, because some of the things that are going on now, the difficulty of police departments hiring and recruiting, are some things that I was doing, way back when. And then my last assignment was as deputy chief over the department's budget.
Corporation. I want to note that even if people don't get the free gun locks, most of them are not that expensive. You can get for as cheap as, I think, $10 to $20. There are more sophisticated ones now that you have fingerprints, that you have to have a fingerprint instead of a key. But anybody can get a gun lock for $10.
Absolutely.
I assume they probably sell them at hardware stores as well, but I'm sure, obviously, at gun shops or at department stores.
And Dr. Andrews is a graduate of the FBI National Academy. 177? Session 177?
171.
171. I was 233, so I was a couple years behind you. So.
Hey, you get that yellow brick?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks. We want to thank you for coming on, and happy holidays. And again, if people don't attend, will it also be live streamed by any chance on social media, or is that not that it has to, but
no, I don't think it'll be live streamed.
Okay.
I have to talk to my partner at End Gun Violence and see if we've set up for that.
Okay.
I will be on Channel 4 in the morning. I have an interview early in the morning before we go there.
Thank you, Dorian. You were a cop's cop, according to our viewers, so that's a good.
Okay.
That's the seal of approval. And Ira Todd is a contributor. He's out there somewhere tonight. He's waiting.
Ira, yes, I know Ira. I see him.
A legend. A legend.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Jim, Vanessa, and thanks Adolph, who was there, and our behind the scenes person, Teresa Minty. Anyways, we'll be back Friday night. We'll be back Friday night, and then Saturday we'll be back. So thanks again, everybody. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Be careful out there, and get a gun lock if you don't have one. It should be mandatory.
Come back and see us.
I'll be awake on Friday. I promise. I'm just tired today.
Okay.
I'll see you guys Friday. Love you all. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.